In a previous episode, we went to the Nether where we encountered a drop bear, a slingshot dude, and a face-hugging mosquito. We then built some really noisy cobble generators, turned that cobble into gravel, and washed that gravel till it turned into iron. But in this episode, we play with some minecart contraptions, and we use those contraptions to pick us up some mob spawners, and we built ourselves a good looking warehouse. We've been running around with unenchanted iron armor for long enough. It is time we get an upgrade and see to enchanting some of our items. But to do that, we're going to need some form of XP, and to get XP, we're going to build a mob farm. But building a mob farm in Minecraft Create is a little bit different, and what we're going to need for that process is something called a cart assembler. So a cart assembler is 2 andesite alloy, a redstone, and some logs, and we're just going to make 4 of those. And we're also going to need some rails, some levers, a wrench, and minecarts. So let's grab those and do 5 minecarts. And the best way to demonstrate how this works is down here where we found that zombie spawner. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mine enough blocks to be able to get underneath it. And what I want to do is I want to put on a rail right below it, my cart assembler, chuck a minecart in there, and put down a lever. And if I right click this to activate, you will notice it stopped moving, and it's actually now a contraption. I can push this. And what I've done is in the create config, you can change it so you're able to pick up the spawner contraptions, and that's what we're going to do. Instead of placing on rails, transporting them all over the world, we're going to just pick them up. So then you can just take your wrench, right click, and there we have it, a minecart contraption, which is our spawner. After that little adventure, we managed to find ourselves 6 spawners. We have 2 skeleton, 2 zombie, and even 2 blaze spawners. So it's important to note that with these minecart contraptions, if you allow yourself to pick them up, that you cannot put them in chests unless you activate another config. So that's very important. But for now, I do not trust myself in these spawners being active behind here. So let's just flip them all and activate them to ensure that nothing will spawn. I'm sure nothing would spawn, but let's just be safe. I cleared out this little area, flattened it out, and I think what I want to do is put in a platform and we do the mob grinder, mob farm in this little area over here. And over here we finally have the platform marked out where we will do the whole entire mob farm. Pink area indicates where the spawning area will be. Over here we just indicate where the walls will be, and I think the storage and loot collection area should be in this area. So what I'm thinking is let's build this maybe backward. Think right over here. Let's remove that quickly. We will do our little killing area, and I'm gonna do this, I think, this way. The idea is we will have mobs flying over and they'll be landing on this spot over here. And then what I think is we'll just trap them in a little container like this. And from the other side, we will then put down a deployer. It should kill using, so we're going to give it a filter. We give that the sword like that, and now it's used. So whenever a mob falls here, the sword will attack it as soon as we give it power. So that's a good little start to that. From this, I want to say we need to remove items, so we'll just place a funnel. And then I'm thinking we should maybe do collection over here. So we've got a blaze spawner, which will give us 1 item. I do believe that is blaze rods. Then the skeleton spawner will give us bones and arrows. Those are the 2 we want to keep. And the zombie one will give us rotten flesh. And the last one, I think the one that's the most important, is we're going to have to do this for XP, which is fantastic. So we've got those in, which is all good. Now I need to get the whole transportation tube and to get the mobs on this side all put in. On this side, we'll do a little belt, and this belt will then transport the mobs over. We have to remove this one as well. And I think let's make it 1 longer maybe, because the mobs will come down here. So this one will just stick by at the end. And what will happen is mobs will fall on here from a high platform, fall down this hole, And I want them to fall on top of an encased fan that we place maybe there. So what will happen is they'll fall on here, they'll get pushed up, and then we'll have them pushed over to the side. So I think that is looking good. But the next thing we need to do is add the second level where these mobs will fall down from. And I'm thinking this should be a height high enough. Let's just do that. So it's a 1 block drop. Okay, let's lift it. Let's lift it one more. Yeah, I think that's better. So then the mobs will drop from down there, from up there onto this, transport it over, and so forth. And this naturally will run all the way back to here. And now we just need to do that 8 more times. And now we've got a bit more of the structure in over here. If we jump up here, we've got the platform where we will put the spawners. These are a bit higher because we'll have 2 spawners above those blocks. So basically, if you put the rail here, the spawner will be 1 block higher. So the contraption goes here, so the spawner will actually be over there, which is fine. So that gives us 3 blocks underneath. And once we've placed these 2 spawners, we'll remove those 2 tracks, and then we'll place spawners on all 4 of these. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they will allow then for 1 gap, 2 gaps underneath them, so mobs can easily go through. So that's what this is. And over here on the side, if we just remove this, basically what this is, the mobs will go down, they will drop down there in the fan, run up, and then we put 2 more fans over there which will push them over. They'll fall down, they get murdered, and everything gets sent on this way. And these are the chests we're going to use, and I'm just going to put a bunch of funnels on the back of those. And what we're going to do here at the ends, we're going to place in, did I make it? I did. A disenchant. And what this is going to do, it's just going to take enchanted bows and stuff like that, remove the XP from that, turn into liquid XP like you just saw there. So there's liquid XP in there, and that will pump into a tank that we'll place in the end. But I think the next thing I need to do is just maybe close all of this up a bit more, just to make it look a bit more like a mob spawner. And then after that, we'll go down there and add in the water wheels. So we've got most of the structure in and covered, and it does not look like much at the moment. We will sort that out. But the next thing is power. We need to give this thing power, and we're going to have to speed it up to make certain parts move a bit faster. And what I want to do is I want to do that a bit differently. I want to do it using it's called a rotational speed controller, which is a simple gadget that you can plug into your basic water wheel, change a few settings, and things will move faster. But for that, we need to go do something over there. To create a rotational speed controller, we're going to need the Poke Machine, and the reason for this being is we need a precision mechanism, and that is made by cycling a golden sheet through this process 5 times. It has a chance of failing, but what we'll do is we put it on, we first give it a small cog, big cog, nugget, and then repeat, and then we'll see what happens. So let's just do that. So we'll chuck that on there, small cog, big cog, nugget. We just repeat again. Small, big, nugget. And this is going to go 5 times. And now you guys can see it failed. It has a chance of failing, and what we got was crushed raw gold. That's a bummer. Our very first one, a failed one. So let's do another one real quick. Then once we have the precision mechanism, we're going to need some brass casing. So again, same process, strip logs, right click for brass ingot. We get some brass casing, and now we can make precision rotational speed controllers. So right underneath the spawning platform, we have this little area that I've prepped, already added some water. And what I want to do is just add some water wheels, and I do believe if we run stuff up here, it will line up with the fan and all those kind of things. So that's the route we're going to use over there. And then from here, let's just do a few water wheels. So we'll basically have our, choose encased boxes, our water wheels on this level over here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just going to start off with 5 and we can take it from there. But then what we want to do is we want to rip this out. And you know what? Maybe we'll keep this one. And what we'll do is we'll just stick our rotational controller right on there. Yeah, rotational speed controller. And if we chuck this on there, now we've got that running. And what we can do is right there, we click, we hold, and we can set the speed. And as you guys can see, it already goes a lot faster. And now what we can do is just feed it right into the system. So far it's been relatively easy. We just ran this into in-case chain drive that ran all the way along there. We flipped it to power this fan, and then from that in-case chain drive we just ran a line up again, which we also just turned, and in case that turned on this, and this instantly went the right way. The fan's blowing upwards, and then we just connected from the fan over here into a gearbox into the little belts up there, and all these belts are also running the right way. So everything seems to be working perfectly for now. And this is where it gets interesting. We need to now transfer all this power all the way up to there and see if we can make that part work. And I know it does not look good from the outside, but we, again, in case chain drives up, we had to split it over here with a normal block, run it into a gearbox, a few shafts, just to get that spinning the right way. We've got this over here. So what I think is we're just going to run this all the way through to there. And let's see. Okay, so that's running the wrong way, but we can change that. We can fix that up. What we'll do is remove that. We'll remove this, and we'll just chuck in a little gearbox on this area. Now that's running the right way. We still need to power this thing. So what I think we need to do is maybe push that there. And just again with the in-case chain drives, just do this. And we have ourselves a killing mechanism, which I think is going to work. It's going to work. And now the only thing we need to do is get the spawners in. And with all of that, the build is closed. It's completely closed and it's time for us to add the spawners. So let's grab those, and then we'll just place them inside and then turn this thing on and see if it's actually working. And I think for safety purposes, we're just going to remove this little chain drive. And that should close, put those off. It does. And now we can just place these up here. And now we can finally place our spawners on top. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 rails. And then we're going to add 2 contraptions. And then we'll do a blaze in front. I think it just spawned. Yeah, it did. And a skeleton with a back. And we're just going to remove those. And now we need to kill that guy before he destroys everything. What am I? No! And we finally survived that vicious death loop, and it was such a pain. But I've been AFK for a little bit just to gather up some of the resources, and we've been doing good. But the most precious one, the experience. As you guys can see, it's in. It's looking nice. It's got some fiery bits that we'll fix. But this build really needs a shell. And to do that, we need to go grab a few resources. So while I'm down there, somewhere in this cave, mining some granite, I was looking through my analytics and I saw that a bunch of you guys are not subscribed. You're viewing the videos, but you're not subscribed. So why don't you go head down there, click the subscribe button, and make sure you never miss another video again. Go on, do it. I know you want to. Well, I believe all the resources we're going to need for this build is in this backpack, and I think it's time we just do a little building montage, get the shell in there, and see what we've got to work with. And after placing quite a lot of blocks, I think it's complete. And I do like the block palette. I love the granite. I love the deep slate. And the roof is something I really enjoy. I wanted a light like metal roof feeling. And this is all just clay variants that I put through the chip table. This is the room. That's the farm. It's very loud in here. They go over, they fall down. Over here you can see them get murdered. I ran out of swords, so we need to restock this, but we will do that. And I've been gathering a lot of items. So here we have items coming through. They get disenchanted, the item gets dropped into lava, and then the XP goes into this little tank over here, and it's not connected on the inside yet. Not yet. I don't know if we're ever going to fill it up, so for now I'm just going to have this little bar. I might wrap it around and repeat the same little detail on this side, and then send it down underground to a bigger tank or something. But for now, I think this is awesome. Another thing I will do between episodes, maybe in a live stream, I don't know, is maybe just connect these with paths, add a bit more brush and grass and stuff, because this area I did and it looks a lot better already. So I think it would look nice if we can repeat this little detail on that side and even do maybe a custom tree or two in the area. But like I said, between episodes or in the next episode. And I also want to cover this and make a little cage around this, which would be fantastic. And then just to show you guys, the iron farm's been working overtime. We've got 22.6 nuggets. So I'm considering maybe changing this out for a compacting drawer, just make it easier. Then I don't have to compact that all the time myself. Our trusty steed. And our trusty steed finally has a name. In the comments, some guy, that's his name, some guy, said, why not call him Horace? And I do like that, and I think we're going to do that. There we go. Boop. So he has a name, and now we can go on more joyous adventures. But for those of you that wanted your names picked, but it didn't happen, I've got good news. So I went to the Lush Cave to get some clay for the roof, and I found these guys. I accidentally put this one in a pot. They're called flutters. So in the comments down there, please, name suggestions for the two flutters. If we can get a duo name, that would be fantastic. But sadly, that will be all the time I have for today, and it's been a fun-packed episode with the whole creation of this mob grinder and the structure around it. I really enjoyed it. So if you did like this video, like I asked earlier, please go like, subscribe, comment down there, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.